What's going on, my good people? This your boy Lap Up the Entertainer, here to bring you some action between Grambling State University and Prairie View A&M. This is going to be an interesting band battle. They are at the State Fair Classic. Okay, so they go head to head at the State Fair in Texas. So you know they go head to head on it, and they be fighting each other like dogs, man. So I'm excited to see what they're going to bring. Okay, I am Grambling alumni, but there's no favoritism. If anything, I'm harder on Grambling than anything else. Okay, so if you don't believe me, you can check out my tier list above. You can tell that I have high expectations for them, but I don't know what to expect from this battle. Okay, what I would say before we get into this battle, there's no favoritism involved. A lot of people can kind of get in their feelings and think, oh, well, you went to Graham, you automatically gonna pick Graham. No, you'd be surprised, man. There'd be plenty of times I say that Grambling lost on a lot of things, and this is my second season in. So if you're new to the channel, check out my old content and you see what I'm talking about. Okay. So with that being said, okay, we're grading halftime performances and we're grading fifth quarter. Okay. And we're trying to see overall who was the strongest band. Okay, so these grades matter. Halftime footage matters, and these grades can carry on to fifth quarter to see who was the strongest band. Okay, I'm going to give both band accolades and tell them what they can work on and what they did phenomenal on. Okay, so please, ladies and gentlemen, don't bash your boy because this is my opinion. You know, one thing I would say to throw this out here to put it on your conscience is that, you know, it's only one of me, and what I can hear and what I can see is just me. It'd be different if it was a group of me. So, just want to throw that out there. All right. So, we just want to see who was the strongest band overall. All right. So, with that being said, please look to the cards next to me so you know what we'll be grading. We're going to be grading entrance, songs, formation, dances, breakdown, and overall creativity. Maximum points they can make altogether is 25. With their creative, they can boost their grade up to a 30 possible. So, if they do something unique or death-defying on the field, hey, they get praise, you know. And if they get a perfect field show rating, okay, they will get praise from me. Not all bands will be able to get a perfect field show this season. I don't know what to expect, but I have high hopes for all these bands, both of these bands presented today. Okay? So I'm excited to see what they're going to bring. I hope that they bring that intensity because, hey, you know, we all want to see a good band battle. Okay? So, we're going to get into this action. You know, if you like this type of content, again, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm going to shut up. Let's get into the action. Grambling's first, then we're going to be grading Prairie View. Shout out to Showtime for getting the footage.
Performance is rated G.
Now you got the shades on.
From the Lafayette, Louisiana, Evan Mitchell, and that bad boy from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay. Okay.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Since
That was clean.
1926, this prestigious, electrifying, multi-talented band has performed in nearly every major stadium across the world. Africa, Tokyo, Spain, from the U.S. coast to coast to the NBA All-Star Game, Ep.18 to stadium seats, the home to the Super Bowl. Hey,
Grambling deep. like that, fam. Woo. Okay, Grambling. Got that energy. Yeah. Yeah. Cut up, Graham. Okay, Grambling. Okay, Graham fam, I hear y'all, man. Alrighty. Oh man, that was nice. They got a perfect 30. Woo, they don't got a perfect 30. Oh shit. Oh shit. That's what I'm talking about. Oh man. A perfect 30, man. A perfect 30. So that means they're gonna be having a trophy emoji by their name. Yes, indeed. Everything was there, man. Everything was there. The energy was there. The formations was there, man. It was nice. The breakdown, the dancers, the entrance, everything was there. They executed that fish show very, very good. Very, very, very good. Wow. That's one of them, fam. Yeah, that's one of them. Woo! That was entertaining, fam. Man, that was a thrill to see. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That was a thrill to see right there. That had me on the edge of my seat the whole entire time. I mean, clean, everything. Everything about it was nice. It was presentable, man. Woo! Grambling, I see you. Grambling, I see you. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Woo! That was nice. Wow. That's wild. Okay? And look, they got my respect. They got my respect on that one, Grandma. Woo! Alright, so if y'all made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Means so much to me. Pay-per-view can stick with it when it comes down to a field show, but I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm hoping that pay-per-view can handle their own, because when a band get a perfect 30, that's a hard thing to come by. That's a hard thing to come by. And, you know, pay-per-view usually give out strong field shows, but I don't know. I don't know. That right there. Oh, man, that was nice. That was real, real nice. Okay? So, with that being said, man, I'm excited to see what they're going to bring. I really am. So, again, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. Again, I don't know what to expect, but hey, they pay-per-view's very strong on that field too. Pay-per-view's very strong on that field too. So again, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Let's get to it. They started from the sidelines. This is different. Got some 8 to 5 issues going on. Yeah, they got some holes in the field, but they got some they got some major 8 to 5 issues. That's not good. Even though they stacked, they still got some 8 to 5 issues.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This
five issues on into that eye. Symmetry issues going with the A. Like that A look like it's going through something. That was nice. I feel like that could be way cleaner than what they gave us. I really feel like that could have been way cleaner than what they gave us.
Looks like trouble in paradise at the...
I mean, they got the energy. Alrighty, let's get that agreed. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. It was not a perfect field show, but it was very entertaining as well, though. Alright? So, creativity, I'm going to give them a 5. Breakdowns, a 5. Songs, I'm going to give them a 5. Entrance, I'm going to give them a 5. Formations, I'm going to give them a 3. Dancers, I'm going to give them a 4. Okay? And I'm going to break it down for y'all why they got those grades in a second after they give their grade. They got a 27. Alrighty. So, in formations in the beginning, they were struggling real hard to do 8 to 5. It was a different type of formation to see, but you can tell that kind of tripped up some of their peripheral as well. I feel like they could have came from the other sidelines, not from the not from the field not for the end zones, but from the sidelines. I think they would have done better because it did not look good them trying to get to them spots at all. Like it just kind of seemed like it was kind of rushed, you know, and thrown together. There was some issues with the lettering. You know, when you look at that aid that they did, that aid was hanging on for dear life. It looked like there was some freshman that was missing or some bandsman that was missing, but that aid looked like he was hanging on for dear life. It was a little bit in the V2 if you looked at it. So, you know, that I just felt like the formations kind of hurt them. The star was beautiful. That had all the symmetry it needed, but I just felt like what hurt them in this field show was symmetry issues in 8 to 5. Okay, when we look at the dancers, I seen them at their best, and I just felt like, you know, this could have been way better. You know, I felt like some people were kind of coming in too early. I know that people have solos and stuff, but it didn't look like some people were doing solos, if that makes sense. It just seems like some people were just doing their moves a tad bit earlier than others, you know, and it wasn't even a ripple effect at all. So that's just me, though. It didn't look together. Breakdown was good. I had no complaints with the breakdown. They had the energy. I like how they did the little rope thing. I don't know if that was a rope or some type of belt or something, and they was doing it. That was pretty cool. They had a lot of creativity points, and the entrance is strong, and the songs is very strong. So those are the main two things I would say that I had to worry about was formation and dancers. Now, granted, I know that the state fair, people can get nervous, so that probably could have been a thing as well, but, this was not their strongest for me, okay? But, it is what it is on that, all right? So, current standings, all right? Who is ahead right now in this battle, okay? Right now, as we speak, Grambling is ahead by 3 points. Okay, current standings. They are ahead by 3 points. Grambling was able to get a perfect 30. Okay. Now, would I say that PVAMU, did they do good? Yes, they got a passing grade for me. They just have to really work on the small things on that, and I think they would have carried. So they still got a passing grade. It wasn't no 26 or 25. 27 still passing. So don't sleep on PVAMU. All right, PVAMU's doing pretty well for themselves. So, before we get into fifth quarter, I have a membership program. With this membership program, I will be grading all band battles from the 90s on up. I will be grading drumline battles from the Meek, Seek, Swag, you name it. You will get a chance to control what more would you see. So if you want to see more Swag, you want to see more Seek, you want to see more Meek, you can. And the way you can do that is you doing $2 a month to be in a membership program, and that's right, it's $2 a month. All right, and you get set emojis and a thank you from me from every video to showcase my appreciation to you every time I post a video, etc. Okay, now if you don't want to do the membership program, you don't want to do the $2 a month, you can always donate to the channel by hitting that thank you tab below. I will still give you a special shout out after every video just to showcase my appreciation. Okay, now if you don't want to do that, that's fine as well. Just doing a free digital handshake with a like and subscribe goes a long way. Okay, that helps boost the algorithm, and if you want to hype this video up, I've been seeing that a lot lately, so hype it up if you can. That means so much to me as well. Alright, so with that being said, we are in the fifth quarter. Okay, now on Facebook I haven't seen any videos, but I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews about it. I've seen some good and I've seen some bad and I've seen some ugly. So I don't know what to expect from this fifth quarter. Okay, so I'm very excited to see what we're going to be seeing. Okay, so before we get to that scale, I would like to tell y'all too is that I'm not grading how strong an arrangement is. Okay, one band can be stronger in an arrangement department, but just because a band has a strong arrangement does not mean that they win the battle. I don't know who came up with that rule, but that's not true. I'm grading who executed the song the best. Okay, if they sound good, I don't care if it's a weak arrangement or a strong arrangement. I'm grading the execution of the arrangement. Okay, if it sounds good, it sounds good. If it sounds bad, it sounds bad. Okay, that's why I'm trying to explain to y'all. I don't care how simple the arrangement is. If it's simple, it better damn near sound good. But if it's a strong arrangement, hey, it need to still sound good regardless. All right. Just want to throw that out there. So, what does that look like for me? Look to the cards next to me so you know what we'll be grading. We're going to be grading song selection, power, articulation, arrangement, and overall cleanness. Maximum points they can make all together is 50. So, I'm expecting the bands to sound good. I'm expecting them to attack together. I'm expecting the sound to sound clean. I'm expecting a lot of things. Okay? But this is my honest opinion. Now, one thing I would say, when it comes down to song selection, you gotta treat these battles like a DJ. So if a band plays slow jam, I'm expecting the other band to play a slow jam back. Alright? That's all I'm saying. And if they, midway through the battle and want to throw another slow jam, I'm not mad at them if they still trying to kick it up, because at least they matched them with their slow jam. You feel me? So, with that being said, we're gonna get into the action. Grambling's first. that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh my gosh, that shit was nice. Oh man, Grambling coming with that uppercut, bruh. He said, come on here. Oh man, you know how Debo took that dude chain? That's exactly what that was, fam. That's exactly what that was. It's my chain now, punk. Oh man, that shit was nice. That shit was nice, fam. Ooh. Man, trombones, they was cutting up in that arrangement. My gosh. That's that shit there. Man, look, Grambling on some other shit this year, man. They done got some vitamin C and shook back. Coming from last year to this year, man, look, Grambling got something good going on, man. Real shit. Real shit. Moving on. Whew. Alright, PV, let me see what you got.
If you're a producer who hates AI,
So yeah, man, that arrangement, man, I just think that they need to really sprucing up on some things on that. In the beginning, they were not really truly tacking together. There was even some people who were kind of sneaking in. One thing I would say also in the cleanest department, I just felt like it's some stuff that just needs to be sprucing up just a tad bit. But sound selections 10, powers 10, articulations 9, arrangement, I'm going to give them a 10, cleanest, I'm going to give them a 9. So they got a 48. They just need to really pull back on that arrangement some more, really sprucing it up some more, okay? So, moving on. right. Woo.
If you're living with
I hate
severe
these commercials.
alopecia,
Alright, let's give that a grade. Alright, so sound selection is 10. Power, I'm gonna give them a 10. Articulation, I'm gonna give them a 10. Arrangement, I'm gonna give them a 10. Cleanness, I'm gonna give them a 9. Alright, so they got a 49 on that. Almost a perfect. There was some stuff that just need to be worked on in that arrangement. They just need to work on just sprucing up some parts in there. They can make it just sound cleaner. It was some parts that were just a tad bit muddy, but it wasn't horrible or nothing like that. But I just think they need to just really just sprucing up on the small things on that. But very good, very, very good. Moving on. Okay. Alright, let's get that a grade. Sound selection is 10. Power is 10. Articulation is 10. Arrangement, I'm gonna give them a 10. Cleanness, I'm gonna give them an 8. They got a 48 for that one. The run needed to be cleaner. There was some parts with the high brass they needed to attack together and be more clean together. Everything else was good. Shout out to the trombones for keeping it together. I feel like that can be a very strong piece if they play it right. You know, I feel like they didn't have too much confidence in that song, if that makes sense. You know, that's just me. You know, I feel like it kind of hurt them with that song selection rather, but you know, I just think they wasn't prepared for it as much as they should have been, if that makes sense. But yeah, cleanness, they need to work on that. They need to put some more work on that piece. All right, moving on.
this is all about.
Okay. I hear you, Williams. Alright, let's get at a grade. That has the potential to be very, very good. It definitely does. But the UFO is going to have to they're going to have to work on that some more. UFOs, not the trombones, the UFOs, you know. Sound selection is 10, power is 10, articulation, I'm going to give them a 9, arrangement's 10, cleanness, I'm going to give them a 9. So they got a 48 on that one. I just feel like the UFOs need to work on attacking together more so, and then I really need them to sound very clean. And a lot of the stuff that was hicking up throughout majority of the piece was the UFOs. And she kind of directed the arrangement towards the UFOs a whole lot. But, yeah, they got the power. But you could tell when people were kind of sneaking in, too. Or not attacking together. So, they definitely need to work on that. Alrighty, moving on. Strong arrangement, though. Alright, let's get that a grade. I'm going to give them a pen because that's something on my hidden list. But did they execute it well?
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that? What's that, brother?
Alright, song selection is 10. Power, I want to give them a 9. Articulation, I want to give them a 9. Arrangement's 10. Cleanness, I'm going to give them a 7. Alright, that hurt them. That piece hurt them. The power wasn't there because they was kind of compensating for the arrangement. They were not attacking together. They were not attacking together. It wasn't horrible, but they were not attacking together. Arrangement was good, but the cleanness of that, They need some help on that one. They need some help on that one. They need some help on that one, man. And that was not it. That was not it. They got a 45 on that one. Alright, moving on. Alrighty, let's get at a grade. So, sound selection is 10. Power is a 10. Articulation, I'm giving them a 9. Arrangements, 10. Cleanness, I'm giving them a 9. Alright. One thing I would say, high brass need to attack together, especially close to the end. There was some parts that need to be sprucing up too in the high brass throughout majority of that piece. There was some parts with the UFOs too, but mostly the high brass that just need to really work on just staying together. Okay? But for the majority, it was okay. It got a 48. Moving on. These bands gonna have to clean it up. They got some heavy hitters to come. Let's get at a grade. Sound selection is 10. Power is a 10. Articulation is a 9. Arrangements 10. Cleanness is a 7. Okay.
Pathetic.
Throughout that whole piece, there was some people skating in that. Throughout that whole piece, people were skating in that. You know, I want to keep it real with you. They need to work on that some more. They got to work on it. You know, for me, hearing them going against Texas Southern, they had a stronger book. I don't know why they're not using those songs, because these songs here, I don't know, man. I thought they would have pulled them out against Grambling or something, but this ain't it for them. This ain't it for them. They're going to have to really work on a lot of stuff. Both bands, because they got some heavy hitters. They got some heavy hitters coming their way, and they're going to have to be ready. They're going to have to be ready, because they're going to punch them right in the face. Both bands, they're going to get punched right in the face. So both bands going to have to work on staying clean and consistent. Both bands. All right? Moving on. let's get at a grade. Sound selections 10, powers 10, articulations 10, arrangements 10, cleanness, I'm gonna give them a 9. Almost a perfect. Almost a perfect. They just need to spruce up the small things in that, and I think that'll be straight. Tubas kind of had a little hiccup on the first tuba break, and before we got to the tuba break, there was a little small hiccups there too. So it was okay. It was right there. Right there. Moving on. So, Brandon came with that power though.
That's not mad science.
Those bad when people try to get the tempo on the side. Oh. Nah.
Disappointing.
I'm gonna keep 100. Nah. Sound selections 10, powers 10, articulation 9, arrangements 10, cleanness, I'm gonna give them a 7. Ooh, Lord. They got a 46 on that one, man. Ooh, PV. Come on now. Come on, PV. Come on, PV. I heard PV do a lot of things, but it didn't sound like this. It did not sound like this. I'm gonna be real with you. It did not sound like this. Alright, moving on. We're gonna bring it back. the second time they ran it back sound better than the first time.
Fancy Feast
Yeah, the
Gems.
second time they ran that
It's
back,
elevated
it sounded
cuisine
better than the first
fit
time.
for a queen.
Alright, Graham, let's see what you got. Okay, Grambling. Yeah. I gotta give him that. I gotta give him that. That was not bad at all from Grambling. That was not bad at all from Grambling right there. One thing I would say, they just need to just get just a little small phrasing right, but majority of it was good. The majority of it was good. I couldn't really pinpoint too much about it, but it was there. It was there. I think that was the second perfect that they was able to get this battle. They could have had more. That's all I gotta say. They could have had more. Gotta keep it 100 with you on that one. Alright, moving on. He's gonna close us out. Song selection is 10, power is 10, articulation is a 10, arrangements 10, cleanness, I'm going to give them an 8. I got a 48 on that one. It was just some parts. They were strong for the majority of that piece. It's just there's some parts that need to be sprucing up throughout majority of the band, high brass and low brass. You know, I just feel like they need to just focus on getting those things together. Okay? So I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. So, this is my opinion about this battle. Both bands need help. Both bands need help in that department. Not so much Grambling. Grambling got some parts they need to work on too. They pretty much stronger than PV in this. I'm calling that now. I can tell by the grades, but you know, as far as everything else is concerned, you know, they both need to work on staying clean in that field. Both bands, they need to really work on their book. Make sure they get their phrasing right. Make sure they get their cleanness right, because it's a lot of, they got some hidden gems in their book. They just need to really execute both their songs right. Both bands, especially PVAMU. But we want to know who won, okay? And I'm going to give it to you raw and uncut. Okay, so Grambling was up by 3 in halftime, all right? But we want to see who won fifth as well. Then we're going to combine that score together, okay? So we're just going to combine both scores together, and we're going to see what they got, okay? So we're going to start with Grambling's first, and then we're going to do PVAMU, okay? Again, ladies and gentlemen, there's no favoritism. There's no favoritism at all. Y'all can go back and watch this full thing. I gave both bands they praise when they needed to get praise too, okay? But, you know, some stuff just needs to be fixed. Alrighty. Grambling got 324. Grambling got 324. Let's see what PVAMU did. .308. 308. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Grambling 324, PVAMU 308. It was not a close battle. Okay. So let me give my fair, honest critique on both bands and what they can work on. Okay, so Grambling won this battle, yes. So we're going to start with Grambling, then we're going to get to PVAMU, because we got to dissect a lot of things with PVAMU. But with Grambling, one thing I would say with Grambling, they did phenomenal in that halftime. They kicked some ass on that field. You hear me? They kicked some ass on that field. When they got to fifth quarter, however, first song was good, but then they started losing that momentum in the middle of the fifth. You know, they finna come across some real heavy hitters pretty soon, like Jackson State and Southern and all them. They better get ready. I mean, we're not even talking about Texas Southern. You know, they finna come up in there and smack them in their face if they ain't ready. You know, so we're gonna keep it 100 with y'all. So fifth quarter, they booked. They gonna have to fix on clean. They gonna have to clean up small things in there if they wanna get some type of chance of trying to beating them. Okay, I mean, halftime was crucial. That did help them get an initial edge going into fifth, but you kind of get what I'm getting at. All right, so definitely, Grambling, please work on that. When we look at PVAMU, we're gonna look at halftime. Halftime, they did very solid. They still got a passing grade for me. One thing I would say that they need to work on is the 8 to 5. If they're gonna come in from the end zones, make sure that that 8 to 5 is together. Okay, make sure that when y'all about to do y'all lettering, make sure y'all lettering and y'all spacing is right. There was a lot of stuff that was wrong with that field show as far as the symmetry is concerned, especially with the lettering. Okay, I'm very particular when it comes down to that type of stuff. So if I can spot that out, that's bad. All right. Now, when we go into fifth quarter, they are going to have to do a lot of fixing. They're going to have to fix that book. I don't know what they need to do. I know some bands have their bad nights, but this is definitely one of their bad nights. This was definitely one of their bad nights. Tempo issues in some songs, the horns, high brass, low brass were not attacking together. It just seemed like they were just fighting each other in the arrangement. You know, a lot of stuff needs to be fixed. You know, Especially that third and fourth song that they did, they gonna have to work. No, really, they third, fourth, and fifth song. They gonna have to work on that. Second, third, and fourth, and fifth. My bad. They gonna have to work on that. They got to. Like, it shouldn't be. You can have some stuff when you can't get the runs right, but when you got a lot of runs in something and it's just not clean at all, it got me wondering that they work on their book at all. Oh, it's like, because I heard them play against Texas Southern and it didn't sound like this. It didn't sound like this. So, but you know, they're gonna have to work on that a lot. I got high expectations for Prairie View, but they gonna have to work on that. Okay, so with that being said, man, that's my verdict. Grambling won this battle, man. I'm finna get up out of here, man. Like I tell y'all always, deuces.